A$AP Rocky, one of the biggest names in hip-hop, is now facing the fight of his life. What was once a thriving career filled with music, fashion, and luxury has now turned into a legal nightmare that could cost him everything. The rapper is currently caught in a high-stakes legal battle, accused of a serious crime that could land him in prison for up to 10 years. But Rocky isn't the only one affected by this scandal. His partner, global superstar Rihanna, now finds herself in an unimaginable situation, standing by the father of her children while his future hangs in the balance. With her billion-dollar empire and growing family, Rihanna is under tremendous pressure. Will she continue to support him, or will this trial tear their relationship apart? The case against Rocky is complex, with shocking accusations, alleged video evidence, and former friends turning against him. But is he truly guilty, or is this just another example of a high-profile celebrity being targeted by the system? As the courtroom battle intensifies, the world is watching. Is A$AP Rocky really about to lose everything? And how will Rihanna handle the fallout? Let's dive deep into the case, the evidence, and the future of one of hip-hop's most talked-about couples. The 2021 shooting allegations. What happened that night? A$AP Rocky's legal troubles stem from a violent incident that allegedly took place in November 2021, involving a former friend and fellow A$AP mob member, A$AP Relly, Terrell Efron. What started as a heated argument between two former friends quickly spiraled into something far more serious. An incident that could now cost Rocky his freedom, his career, and his future with Rihanna. According to reports, Rocky and Relly had been dealing with long-standing tensions that had built up over time. While the exact cause of their falling out remains unclear, sources suggest that money, power struggles, and loyalty issues may have played a role. On the night of the alleged incident, Rocky and Relly reportedly ran into each other in Hollywood, and the confrontation quickly escalated. In a shocking turn of events, Relly claimed that Rocky pulled out a firearm and fired multiple shots at him. While Relly was not seriously injured, he alleged that one of the bullets grazed his hand, leaving him with both physical and emotional scars. The situation became even more damning when Relly reportedly provided video evidence of the incident, which is said to be a key piece of the prosecution's case. While the footage has not been made public, sources claim that it could prove Rocky's involvement beyond a reasonable doubt. If the video does show Rocky firing a weapon, it could be the strongest piece of evidence against him. Rocky, however, has maintained his innocence from the very beginning. His legal team has argued that the allegations are exaggerated and misleading, and they claim that Relly is using the case as a way to get revenge and financial gain. They insist that Rocky was not the aggressor and that the details of the incident have been twisted to make him look guilty. The case took a more serious turn in April 2022 when Rocky was arrested at Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, upon returning from a trip with Rihanna. His sudden arrest shocked fans and made international headlines, painting him as a dangerous criminal before he even had the chance to defend himself in court. This arrest put an enormous strain on Rihanna, who was pregnant with their first child at the time. The stress of watching her partner face such serious accusations while preparing for motherhood was something no woman should have to endure. Despite the public backlash, she remained by his side, making it clear that she was not going to abandon him during his darkest hour. As the legal battle unfolds, the stakes couldn't be higher. If convicted, Rocky could be looking at up to 10 years in prison, a sentence that would not only end his career, but also leave Rihanna to raise their children alone. But is the evidence strong enough to convict him? Or is this just another celebrity case built on shaky accusations and media hype? A$AP Rocky's legal history, a troubling pattern? A$AP Rocky's 2021 shooting case isn't the first time he's had trouble with the law. While some see him as a victim of the justice system, others believe that this latest case is part of a troubling pattern of violent incidents that have followed him throughout his career. One of the most infamous legal issues in Rocky's past happened in 2019, when he was arrested and jailed in Sweden after a street altercation. While on tour in Stockholm, Rocky and his entourage got into a physical fight with two men who had allegedly been harassing them. In videos that surfaced online, Rocky was seen throwing a man to the ground and punching him, but he insisted that he acted in self-defense. Despite his claims, Swedish authorities charged him with assault, and Rocky was held in jail for nearly a month before his trial. The case caused international controversy, with celebrities and politicians, including then U.S. President Donald Trump, demanding his release. Ultimately, Rocky was found guilty but was given a suspended sentence, allowing him to avoid more jail time. While the Sweden case was the most publicized, Rocky has had other violent run-ins with the law. In 2012, he was arrested in New York after getting into a fight with two photographers who tried to take pictures of him. That same year, he was also sued for allegedly assaulting a man at a clothing store. In 2013, he was caught on video slapping a female fan at a music festival after she grabbed his arm. The incident led to a lawsuit, but Rocky denied any wrongdoing. Now, with the 2021 shooting case hanging over him, prosecutors are likely to use his past incidents to paint him as a repeat offender with a history of violence. Even though none of his previous cases resulted in major jail time, the combined pattern could make it harder for him to argue that this was just an isolated incident. But is Rocky really a violent person, or has he just been in the wrong place at the wrong time? Some fans argue that he has always been targeted because of his fame, wealth, and status as a successful black artist. Others believe that he has made reckless choices that have finally caught up with him. One thing is certain, this case is different. Unlike past altercations, this time he's facing a potential 10-year sentence, and his entire future is at risk. But the case isn't just about Rocky. It has also created a major fallout within the ASAP mob. What was once a brotherhood has now turned into a legal war, with former friends turning against each other. Fallout within the ASAP mob, betrayal and legal feuds. The ASAP mob was once known as one of the most tight-knit rap collectives in the industry. Founded in the early 2000s and 10s, the group was built on brotherhood, loyalty, and shared success. At its core were artists like ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg, ASAP Nast, and ASAP Bari, along with their former close associate, ASAP Relly. But now everything has changed. Relly, who was once considered family, is the very person accusing Rocky of attempted assault, leading to one of the biggest betrayals in hip-hop history. Relly claims that Rocky lured him to a Hollywood location under false pretenses, only to confront him with a gun and open fire. He has since filed a lawsuit against Rocky, demanding financial compensation for emotional distress and physical injuries. For fans of the ASAP mob, this situation is shocking and heartbreaking. What was once a tight brotherhood is now falling apart, with public accusations, lawsuits, and courtroom battles replacing the unity they once had. Many fans are questioning Relly's true motives. Some believe he is seeking justice, while others suspect he is using the situation to gain money and fame. After all, Rocky is one of the most successful members of the ASAP mob, and if convicted, Relly stands to gain a significant financial payout from the lawsuit. The situation has caused major tension within the group. While some members have remained silent, others have subtly distanced themselves from Rocky, unwilling to publicly take sides in a case this serious. Meanwhile, Rocky's closest supporters insist that Relly is fabricating the story to take down his former friend. But whether or not the accusations are true, this case has permanently damaged the legacy of the ASAP mob. What was once one of rap's most influential collectives is now divided, proving once again that loyalty in the music industry can disappear in an instant. For Rocky, this situation is about more than just his career. It's about his freedom, his family, and his future. And no one is feeling the weight of this case more than Rihanna, who now finds herself caught between her personal life and the harsh reality of the legal system. Rihanna's predicament: a mother, a mogul, and a crisis. Rihanna is no stranger to public scrutiny and personal hardships, but ASAP Rocky's legal troubles have placed her in an unprecedented situation, one that threatens not just her relationship, but also her brand, career, and emotional well-being. At the time of Rocky's 2022 airport arrest, Rihanna was in the final months of her first pregnancy. What should have been one of the happiest times in her life turned into a nightmare, as she watched her partner get taken into custody in front of the world. The emotional toll of dealing with stress, uncertainty, and public speculation while preparing to become a mother was something no woman should have to endure. Since then, Rihanna has made it clear she is standing by Rocky's side. Despite the severity of the case, she has continued to support him both personally and publicly, attending court hearings, keeping their family together and trying to maintain some sense of normalcy. However, the pressure on Rihanna is immense. As a billionaire business mogul, she has built her empire with Fenty Beauty, Savage X Fenty, and countless other ventures. She is one of the most successful and influential women in the world, and now she finds herself at the center of a legal scandal that could damage her brand. While Rihanna's fans admire her loyalty, some are questioning whether this case could have long-term consequences for her reputation. Will major brands and business partners start to distance themselves from her due to Rocky's legal issues? Will the stress of this trial affect her career choices, music releases, and future projects? On a personal level, Rihanna is also facing the terrifying possibility of raising her children alone if Rocky is convicted and sentenced to a decade in prison. As a woman who has always championed strength and independence, she may be prepared for that outcome, but it doesn't mean it will be easy. Behind the scenes, sources close to Rihanna say that she is privately worried about what the future holds. While she is putting on a brave face for the public, she knows that this case could change everything. With Rocky's court battles intensifying, the world is watching to see how Rihanna navigates this crisis. Will she continue to support him no matter what? Or will the weight of the situation become too much for even her to handle? But one thing is certain, this is only the beginning. As the legal process unfolds, things are about to get even more complicated, more emotional, and more unpredictable. The arrest and legal developments, from airport ambush to courtroom drama. ASAP Rocky's legal nightmare escalated dramatically on April 20th, 2022, when he was arrested at Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, upon returning from a trip to Barbados with Rihanna. What should have been a simple homecoming turned into a chaotic and highly publicized moment that shocked fans and the entire entertainment industry. As soon as Rocky and Rihanna landed, authorities moved in quickly, detaining him on the tarmac before he even had the chance to leave the airport. Law enforcement had been building their case in secret, and this arrest was a carefully coordinated ambush. The scene was intense. Police officers surrounded Rocky, handcuffed him, and took him into custody while Rihanna watched helplessly. Just weeks away from giving birth, she had to endure the humiliation and heartbreak of watching the father of her child taken away in front of the entire world. The arrest was based on a sealed warrant, which meant that even Rocky's legal team had no idea it was coming. Within hours, news outlets were reporting that he had been charged in connection with a November 2021 shooting, with prosecutors claiming they had video evidence and witness testimony linking him to the crime. Rocky was booked into Los Angeles County Jail, with his bail set at $550,000. Within hours, he posted bail and was released, but the damage had already been done. The headlines were everywhere. ASAP Rocky arrested in connection to shooting, Rihanna's boyfriend faces 10 years in prison, and worse. The raid on Rocky's home, the case gets more serious. If the airport arrest wasn't shocking enough, what happened next took things to another level. Just hours after Rocky was released, police raided his Los Angeles home in search of evidence. SWAT teams arrived with a search warrant, breaking into his property and seizing multiple firearms. The media captured the entire event, further fueling speculation that Rocky's situation was far worse than initially believed. Authorities claimed that they were searching for the weapon used in the alleged shooting, and while they did recover guns from his house, reports later stated that none of them matched the one used in the crime. This left many fans wondering, was this a real investigation or an attempt to make Rocky look guilty in the court of public opinion? The charges and courtroom battle begins. ASAP Rocky is now officially charged with 2 counts of assault with a firearm, and if convicted, he faces up to 10 years in prison. The prosecution claims that they have strong evidence, including video footage and testimony from ASAP Relly, who is acting as the main witness in the case. Rocky's legal team, however, is fighting back hard. They argue that Relly has an ulterior motive, seeking revenge and financial gain by painting Rocky as the aggressor. They have also raised questions about the credibility of the alleged video footage, suggesting that it may not clearly show what prosecutors claim. Legal experts believe that this case will be a long and complicated battle, with both sides preparing for a high-stakes trial. Rocky's attorneys are pushing to have the case dismissed, while prosecutors are determined to make an example out of him. As the trial date approaches, the pressure continues to mount, not just for Rocky, but also for Rihanna, their family, and their future. Will Rocky beat the charges and walk away a free man? Or is he facing a harsh reality that could change his life forever? The evidence and courtroom battle. Will Rocky beat the case? With A&T-Hap Rocky now facing serious charges, the outcome of his case will depend on one crucial factor: the evidence. Prosecutors claim they have a strong case against him, but Rocky's defense team is fighting back, arguing that the allegations are exaggerated and based on questionable testimony. At the center of the prosecution's case is ASAP Relly, the alleged victim, who has testified that Rocky fired multiple shots at him during a confrontation in November 2021. Relly has provided a detailed account of the incident, claiming that Rocky lured him to a location under false pretenses, then pulled out a gun and opened fire. While Relly was not critically injured, he insists that he was left with both physical and emotional trauma. One of the biggest pieces of evidence that prosecutors are relying on is surveillance footage that allegedly captures the moment of the shooting. However, sources close to the case have stated that the footage is not as clear as prosecutors claim. Rocky's defense team is arguing that the video does not clearly show him pulling the trigger and that it could be misinterpreted. If the footage is blurry, distant, or inconclusive, it could weaken the prosecution's case significantly. Legal experts say that if the video doesn't provide undeniable proof, the case will rely heavily on witness testimony, which is where Rocky's team is expected to attack. One of the most controversial aspects of this case is ASAP Relly's credibility. While he has presented himself as the victim, many believe that he has a personal motive for taking Rocky down. Some sources have suggested that Relly and Rocky had a falling out over business and financial issues, and that Relly might be using the legal system as a way to get revenge. Rocky's defense team has hinted that they will challenge Relly's credibility in court, questioning whether his story is motivated by money, bitterness, or personal grudges. Rocky's legal team is preparing to aggressively fight the charges, using several key strategies. 1. Questioning the video evidence. If the footage is unclear or does not directly prove Rocky fired the weapon, they will argue that there is reasonable doubt. 2. Discrediting Relly. By exposing any contradictions in his testimony or uncovering evidence of ulterior motives, they will aim to weaken the prosecution's case. 3. Highlighting Rocky's lack of criminal intent. His attorneys may argue that even if an altercation took place, there was no intent to harm Relly, which could reduce the severity of the charges. 4. Suggesting self-defense or false accusations. If Rocky's team can prove that Relly was the aggressor, they could shift the narrative in Rocky's favor. If the prosecution successfully proves its case, Rocky could be sentenced to up to 10 years in prison. This would be a devastating blow to his career, his family, and his future. A long-term sentence would mean a major halt in his music and fashion career, a significant financial loss due to lawsuits and legal fees, Rihanna raising their children without him, a permanent stain on his reputation. Some legal analysts believe that Rocky may try to negotiate a plea deal to avoid a lengthy sentence. If prosecutors agree to reduce the charges, he could serve a shorter sentence or even avoid jail time altogether by paying fines, doing community service, or serving probation. However, taking a plea deal would also mean admitting some level of guilt, which could damage his public image. It's a tough decision: fight for full freedom and risk 10 years in prison, or take a deal and live with the consequences. As the case moves forward, tensions are high. With Rihanna standing by his side, Rocky knows that the world is watching. Will he be proven innocent, or is he on the verge of losing everything? Emotional and personal impact. How this could change Rihanna and Rocky forever. A$AP Rocky's legal battle isn't just affecting his career and freedom, it's also taking a heavy toll on his personal life, his relationship with Rihanna, and their future as a family. As the case moves forward, both of them are facing immense emotional pressure, knowing that a guilty verdict could mean losing years of their lives together. For Rihanna, this situation is especially heartbreaking. Just months before Rocky's arrest, she had given birth to their first child, stepping into a new chapter of her life as a mother. But instead of focusing on the joy of raising their son, she has been forced to navigate one of the most stressful and publicized legal battles in the industry. Despite everything, Rihanna has made it clear she is standing by Rocky's side. She has attended court hearings, remained supportive in public, and has reportedly been deeply involved in helping him through this crisis. But that doesn't mean it hasn't been difficult for her. As one of the most powerful women in the world, Rihanna has built an empire through Fenty Beauty, Savage X Fenty, and her music career. Her name is synonymous with success, independence, and resilience. But now her partner's legal issues have put her in a difficult position. Does she continue to fight alongside him, or does she prepare for a future without him? Many fans admire Rihanna's loyalty, but others worry that this situation could hurt her brand. Some fear that Rocky's legal troubles could create negative publicity for Fenty, possibly affecting her business partnerships and public image. However, Rihanna has never been one to let public opinion dictate her personal life, and she seems determined to stay strong for her family. One of the hardest aspects of this situation is the possibility that Rihanna could end up raising their children alone if Rocky is convicted. While she is financially stable and capable of handling anything life throws at her, the idea of building a family without her partner by her side is something she likely never expected. If Rocky is sentenced to several years in prison, Rihanna would have to balance running her billion-dollar businesses, fulfilling her musical commitments, raising their children as a single mother, dealing with the emotional toll of seeing the father of her kids behind bars. It's an overwhelming situation, and no matter how strong Rihanna is, it's clear that this case could change her life forever. While the media has focused on Rocky's legal battle and Rihanna's reaction, little has been said about how Rocky himself is coping with this crisis. Facing a potential 10-year sentence is something that would mentally break even the strongest person. Those close to him have reported that he is deeply stressed and anxious about what the future holds. The uncertainty of whether he will walk free or spend the next decade behind bars is something he has to wake up to every single day. Despite his usual confident, carefree image, Rocky is now dealing with the reality that his life is no longer in his control. His fate is in the hands of the legal system, the judge, and the jury. While Rihanna and Rocky have remained strong through this ordeal, some fans and insiders believe that this case could ultimately break them. Legal battles, stress, and the uncertainty of the future have ended many celebrity relationships in the past. If Rocky is sentenced to prison for several years, would Rihanna wait for him? Would she continue to visit him, support him, and keep their family together? Or would she decide that it's best to move forward with her life? Right now, there are no signs that Rihanna is planning to leave Rocky. But if the worst happens, she may have to make some incredibly difficult decisions. The emotional roller coaster. Ahead, as the trial progresses, Rihanna and Rocky are facing the most difficult chapter of their lives. They are dealing with public scrutiny and relentless media attention, the fear of an uncertain future, the emotional toll of possibly losing years together, the pressure of balancing family, business, and legal struggles. No matter what happens, this case has forever changed their relationship. The love they share is strong, but is it strong enough to survive a 10-year prison sentence? As we wait for the final verdict, one question remains. What happens next for ASAP, Rocky and Rihanna? What's next? Possible outcomes and final verdict predictions. As Rocky's trial moves forward, the stakes couldn't be higher. The outcome of this case will determine not only his future as a free man or a convicted felon, but also the fate of his career, his family, and his relationship with Rihanna. With legal experts debating the possible results, there are several ways this trial could unfold. The best possible outcome for Rocky would be a not guilty verdict, meaning he would avoid prison time and clear his name. If the jury or judge finds that the prosecution lacks enough evidence, or if the alleged video footage does not conclusively prove Rocky fired a weapon, the case could be dismissed or result in an acquittal. In this scenario, Rocky would regain his freedom, allowing him to focus on his music, fashion career, and family. Rihanna and Rocky could move forward without legal worries, finally enjoying life together without the threat of a prison sentence looming over them. His reputation would take a hit due to the media circus, but over time, he could rebuild his public image. However, even if Rocky walks free, the damage has already been done. His arrest and trial have been highly publicized, and some people will always associate his name with this case. The court of public opinion can sometimes be just as harsh as the actual legal system. If Rocky's lawyers feel that the evidence against him is too strong, they may advise him to take a plea deal to avoid a lengthy prison sentence. This would involve Rocky pleading guilty to a lesser charge, such as illegal possession of a firearm, which could result in probation or house arrest instead of jail time. Reckless endangerment, which might lead to a reduced sentence of only a few months behind bars. While a plea deal would keep Rocky out of long-term prison, it would still mean a criminal conviction on his record. This could impact his ability to travel internationally, secure business deals, and maintain his status in the music industry. Additionally, some fans might see this as an admission of guilt, damaging his reputation further. For Rihanna, this would be bittersweet. Rocky wouldn't be gone for a decade, but their family would still have to endure the consequences of a conviction. The worst-case scenario for Rocky would be a guilty verdict with a full sentence, potentially landing him in prison for up to 10 years. If the prosecution successfully proves its case and the jury is convinced by the evidence, Rocky could serve several years in prison depending on the judge's decision, be separated from Rihanna and their children, leaving Rihanna to raise their kids alone, suffer major career and financial losses as he would be unable to work on music, tour, or run his businesses. For Rihanna, this would be devastating. While she has the financial stability to support herself and their children, the emotional impact of losing her partner to the legal system would be life-changing. It would also force her to make difficult decisions. Would she wait for him, or would she move on with her life? If Rocky is sentenced to prison, he could still appeal, but appeals take years, and there is no guarantee that the ruling would be overturned. Sometimes legal cases don't end in a clear guilty or not guilty verdict. If the jury fails to reach a unanimous decision, the judge could declare a mistrial, leading to a retrial, which would further delay Rocky's fate. The prosecution offering a new plea deal to avoid retrying the case. The charges possibly being dropped if the case weakens over time. Additionally, if new evidence emerges in Rocky's favor, or if Relly's testimony is proven unreliable, the entire case could collapse, leading to Rocky walking free. What this means for the future of Rocky and Rihanna. Regardless of the outcome, this case has already had a massive impact on Rocky's life. Even if he beats the charges, his career, reputation, and relationships have been permanently affected. Moving forward, he will need to repair his image, regain trust from the industry, and figure out how to move past this chapter of his life. For Rihanna, the situation is just as complex. If Rocky goes to prison, she will face the emotional and logistical challenges of raising their children without him. Even if he is acquitted, the stress and uncertainty of this trial may have changed their relationship forever. At the end of the day, only time will tell how this legal battle ends. The trial is still ongoing, and every new piece of evidence could change the course of Rocky's future. But one thing is certain, this case will be one of the most talked about legal battles in hip-hop history. A$AP Rocky's legal battle has been one of the most high-profile celebrity cases in recent years, leaving fans, legal experts, and the entire entertainment industry wondering, what happens next? What do you think? Is A$AP Rocky guilty, or is he being unfairly targeted? Will Rihanna stay by his side no matter what, or could this case tear them apart? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the biggest celebrity scandals, controversies, and inside stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.